Okay, I wanted to talk a little bit more about our solar setup. I bought this smaller panel. It was my first one. Bought it off of eBay. It's at 85 watt. Then, about a year later, I bought this 120 watt off of a website called Solar Boulevard. And man, they have got some really good deals because I paid less for this one than I did for the little one. Even the shipping was less. So I can't remember right offhand how much everything was, but I do remember thinking, boy, that's a deal. And it was. And solarboulevard.com, SOLARBLVD.com. They have a lot of sales, and their service is very fast. Now, both of these came with a way to plug them in to the system. Or you can buy these connectors separately, or you can just wire and use black tape. The connectors seem to be waterproof though, so that's what we used. And they come with connectors. So we connected, the green one is the ground, the red one is the hot, and we connected these wires to the back of this panel, then brought them over and connected them to this panel. I don't know if this is going to show, I just can't get on the ground far enough. Brought them over to this panel, and then connected from this panel. There we are. By these wires, we just picked up the wires at Lowe's, and they're probably actually too big. We should have got smaller, but they're working. We ran the wire over to the battery box. I always forget if this is series or parallel, but they're connected so that all 205 watts will charge these batteries. And you can see the inverter in there. Now then, on these, we've got ground to ground and hot to hot. When we hooked up the inverter, we used the hot wire to one battery, right there. And we put the ground wire from the other battery. Also, we have in here a charge controller. We recently had to kind of redo it because the wire was so big it kept popping out of the slots in the charge controller. But the charge controller, sure I don't want to unhook anything. You can see that it's got a green light on it. I don't know if you can see that. Come back here. It's got a green light on this end, which shows that it's coming from the solar panel. So we'll picture of the solar panel. And it's got a green light on this end, which is to the load. The load happens to be, I don't know, should be in the inverter. But anyway, this charge controller will cut the power off when the batteries are fully charged, and it will turn the power back on when the batteries are running low. I'll put that back down there. We've just got this it's an old toolbox. We ran the wires through this side handle, open up the handle some. There's enough ventilation in here for the batteries. I've got a three-way plug there. When I need to plug in something else, I'll unplug the aquaponics. runs day and night. Anyway, I can unplug the aquaponics, plug in that freeway, and we can run power into the house through this cord here. An old extension cord, but it works. It's not the best setup in the world, but it works, and we've learned a lot by setting it up. I want to get some more solar panels and get those installed. You can only do one thing at a time. But I want to get more solar panels installed so we can have more power that can go to the house. But 205 watts will run the laptop and the modem, and it will charge a phone. It'll run a small lamp with CFL bulb in it, and a couple of things like that. So I might have this wrong, and if this is wrong, someone can correct me. But it's at 205 watts. If I can get 6 hours of sunshine a day, that's 1,200 watts total power through the day that I actually have available. I don't use that much, but I believe that's correct. 1,200 watts of power. But now, if somebody out there knows anything better than me, please feel free to correct me on the electrical part of this, because I could be way off. But that just gives you an idea of how we've got things set up on the solar. We put this over here behind the aquaponics because at the time that's all we were going to use it for. But I'm thinking I might want to move it closer to the house. The less wire we run into the house from it, the less power we lose from it. It's like losing pressure out of a long water hose. Short one, you get a lot of pressure. A long one, you don't get as much. So the electrical part of this works the same way. Also, we're losing 15 to 20% power by using an inverter, but all I've got is an electric pump for the aquaponics. When I get a solar pump, I'll put that on it, and we'll gain a little more like that. But anytime you have to use the inverter, then you're going to lose some of your juice because it uses part of your power just by operating its little fan and things like that. We had this battery hooked in there, but I think it's completely dead. We never could get a full charge on the other batteries when this one was hooked in. I was really hoping because I think this one came off of forklift or something, so it's a big old battery. But it didn't work very good. That's why it came off the forklift, I guess. Anyway, that'll give you a small idea. See, I've got quite a bit of wire here. I could really move. We could move that battery box closer to the house and use a shorter cord into the house, I think. I don't know how much is on that pump, but we can work that out to where we can actually have maybe a part of the house, maybe even a whole room, only on solar, and still run this pump out here. Yeah. Okay, well, I've been out in the garden this morning, what I've started calling the Garden of Weeding, because, oh my goodness, all the rain we've had. Yeah, I think my onions that were doing okay. I don't have very many of them left in here. I think they got ground. Cabbage has got bugs on it. But we are going to get some beans. So I guess the thing to do is start pulling other stuff out, plant some beans, because they'll come up in 45 days or so. And that's always a good backup crop. And you can use beans from the grocery store. You can plant those, whatever your favorite kind of beans are. Anyway, I've been out here cutting down some of the weeds in some of the beds, and I just cut and drop. Let that nitrogen and carbon go back into the soil all it will, instead of throwing it away. And the weeds that I cut didn't have seed heads, so they should not reseed. Okay. Well, I guess that's all for now. Thank you.